Hello everyone. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you that have been an encouragement to me over the last few weeks. So I guess I've been feeling like this time, it's been a bit like a wilderness time for me. And I've been thinking back a lot to this story in Exodus where God led the Israelites out of Egypt and into the wilderness on their journey to the promised land. And for me, this really is a wilderness in so many ways, sort of uncharted territory, not knowing what's coming next, not knowing how to prepare for things, having to trust God in ways that we haven't had to trust before. And there's been a passage in Exodus that has just been going round and round and round in my head, and I wanted to share it with you in case it's an encouragement to you too. So this is from Exodus chapter 16, from verse 1. My Bible's a New King James Version, so it might not be quite the same wording as your Bible, but the message is the same. So from verse 1, "And the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin on the 15th day of the second month after they departed from the land of Egypt." So they were 2.5 months into their wilderness journey. I'm just a few weeks in, but I really love this story and I can relate to their reaction so much. And the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness, and they said to them, "Oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by pots of meat, when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." And the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you." And he did. If you read on in the story, God provided manna from heaven every morning, fresh every morning. And he provided blessing after blessing, having miraculously taken them out of slavery. He was just leading them in a new journey and providing for them in every step. Now, sometimes we feel a bit lost in all of this, but I really love the essence and the detail that's added to the story in Numbers, chapter 11. And this is really me. So this is chapter 11 from verse 4. "Now the multitude who were among them yielded to intense craving. The children of Israel wept and said, 'Who will give us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we ate freely in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the onions, the leeks, and the garlic. And now behold, our whole being is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna from heaven before our eyes.'" So they were basically bringing their whole shopping list to God. All these things that they'd become accustomed to in their life before being set free. And they were seeing the blessing that God was giving them and just missing the things that they had from their past, looking backwards all the time, with no appreciation for this miraculous blessing every day, this manna from heaven every day. So it's just really made me think about the things that I'm missing, my cucumbers, my onions and garlic. And there's nothing wrong with cucumbers and melons and garlics. In and of themselves, these things are fine. But it's that grumbling, complaining heart that's looking backwards to the life before in slavery and missing God's blessing all around us now. And just looking back to the things that I'm missing has really made me think about things that maybe I took too much comfort in before, too much security in being able to pop to the shops or whatever it might have been. Maybe even more than that, maybe there are things in my life that I'm free from in this time that were controlling me, or maybe even I was enslaved by. And I'm missing that God has made me free in this time. And looking backwards, I'm grumbling and complaining. I don't know whether anyone can relate to that. I certainly know what my cucumbers are. Maybe you know what yours are. I've also been thinking just on the wilderness theme about when Jesus was led into the wilderness. And we're told that he was led into the wilderness by God's Spirit, but he came out of the wilderness in the power of the Spirit. And for me, that's really intentional wording. It's not ambiguous. Something happened in the wilderness that empowered Jesus with the Spirit of God for the next steps of what God had for him, what was going to come next in his life. And I believe that this can be an empowering time for us too, if we're able to see God's purpose around us, not always be looking back to things that we're missing, but seeing God's blessing and provision around us today and every day. And I don't know what God will be doing in my life through this time, or the lives of my family, or the people around us. But I hope I don't miss it. So I hope that has been some encouragement to you. It's certainly a challenge for me every day to try to see things, to see what God's doing in and through this time. So take care. Hope everyone's staying safe, and I hope we can see each other soon. Bye.